back on the road again.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Are they sleeping?
Oh. Fast this man.
We're here at Shoreline Park. Everyone is struggling. Wakey.
Welcome back, people.
Get it started.
All right, the whole gang's here. Once we get through the waivers, we'll start. How are you guys doing this morning?
Good.
Nice.
So far, so good.
We got called the Unknown Heroes during our road trip.
Where they ended up tagging on the van. Unknown heroes.
We were like, what happens when we get known? We're like, we'll change it to known heroes.
Heroes.
Superheroes. So welcome everybody to Shoreline, and my name is Philip, this is Ryan, this is Daniel. Ryan and I are biologists out here, and Daniel is one of our rangers. He's also in charge of the Youth Corps program, so you can ask us questions at any time. So I just want to tell you a little bit about Shoreline. So we're actually on a closed landfill, unfortunately. In the 1970s, the city of Mountain View wanted to build a park out here at this exact location, but there was two problems. One, we were below sea level, and second, the city didn't have enough money to build a park. So he turned it into a landfill for 13 years, and all the trash from San Francisco was brought down here and dumped down here. The problem with trash, as it decomposes, it produces leachate, and we're adjacent to San Francisco Bay and two creeks, Stevens Creek over this side, Permanente Creek over this side. It also produces vast amounts of methane gas. Methane gas is 10 times worse than carbon dioxide as a greenhouse gas. So we're very concerned about leachate leaving the landfill. So we have monitoring points surrounding the entire landfill, and we have a landfill crew which monitors them to make sure no leachate is escaping into the bay or the creeks. The methane gas, we pump some of it over to Google and over, it used to be Johnson & Johnson. Those three buildings over there, they're powered by methane gas from here. It's temporarily on hold, but it's going to be restarted very, very soon. We also use some of that gas to operate our micro turbines. And then the rest of it is burnt off. We go from methane gas into carbon dioxide. That's it. But despite the fact we're on a closed landfill, we have about 20 protected species out here at Shoreline. We're adjacent to San Francisco Bay. We're also on the Pacific Flyway. So for birds migrating from South and Central America up to Alaska, they stop here in spring on the way up to their breeding areas, and they stop here in fall and return back to their wintering areas. So here's some of the species that we have out here that are protected. This little guy here is called a ridgeways rail, and this little mouse here is called a salt marsh harvest mouse. Both of them are endemic to San Francisco Bay. They're found nowhere else in the world except in San Francisco Bay. So both of them are actually endangered species because we've done so much habitat destruction in San Francisco Bay. This bird here is a white-tailed kite. It's a state fully protected species, and for the past 2 years they've actually bred here at Shoreline. This year they had 4 chicks, last year they had 2 nests of 5 chicks. We have white pelicans and also northern harriers. This is another protected bird we have. It's called black skimmer. So its lower mandible or lower beak is much longer than the upper mandible or upper beak. And it flies above the water like this with its beak open. The lower mandible is in the water. If it touches the fish, it closes the beak and flies off. So they've been nesting on our island in the Sailing Lake for the past few years. So you don't make a typical nest out of vegetation. They just dig a hollow on the ground. Unfortunately, our island has a bit of a slope. So every time they lay their eggs, the eggs kept rolling into the lake. So we made this simple little wooden frame, filled it up with sand, they moved in, laid their eggs, and this year we had 17 pairs nesting on the island. We're now the biggest breeding colony of this bird in San Francisco Bay. Here's another little bird we have out here, another endemic bird, only found in San Francisco Bay and along the coast of San Francisco. It's called the San Francisco Common Yellowthroat. It's only about that size. So it lives in wetland areas, and we had about, what was it, 5 nests this year for these little guys? This is our native fox here in California. We also do a lot of animal rescues because we're a park. People think they can dump animals out here. They dump loads of rabbits. They think they can survive. These rabbits are snow white. They put them on the golf course. They just sit in the middle of the golf course and everything kills them. This is a little baby raccoon that got stuck in our dumpsters. We couldn't go into the dumpster to remove it because it would probably attack us. So we put in a little ladder to help it get out. Down the road from us here, it's about a 5-minute drive, we have the largest rookery for breeding snowy egrets and white egrets in the South San Francisco Bay Area. We had over 100 nests of these birds right along the Google buildings. But this is the guy that we're specializing in helping today. It's called a Western Burrowing Owl. So there's about 140 different species of owls around the world. This is the only owl that nests in a burrow under the ground. Most owls nest in trees, some nest on the surface. This one nests under the ground. But surprisingly, it doesn't make the burrow that it lives in. It depends on fossorial mammals. In California, it's California ground squirrels. Other parts of the United States, it's prairie dogs. They'll also live in artificial burrows, and we have a lot of artificial burrows out here for them. So in the 1980s, we had 500 burrowing owls at 250 locations in Santa Clara County. This year, we're down to 4 locations and 33 birds. So we've gone from 500 adults down to 33 adults. We've gone from 250 locations down to 4 locations. Those breeding locations are here at Shoreline, Moffett Airfield, San Jose International Airport, and Alviso. The problem with Moffett and San Jose International Airport, they don't want any kind of animals on the runways because they're worried about collisions with aircraft. We're a landfill, we have a lot of disturbance out here. And Alviso, the city council just passed an ordinance 2 years ago that they can develop most of that land. There's 500 acres, they're protecting 200 acres for burrowing owls. But what we're noticing at all these locations, as more and more development moves in closer and closer to these last remaining areas, we're forcing more other species that were foraging or living in these other areas into Shoreline. Those white-tailed kites, last year was the first year they ever bred at Shoreline. They used to breed along Shoreline Boulevard and other areas. Now we're cutting down all those redwoods.
Soon almost all of the trees along this stretch of Shoreline Boulevard may be ripped out.
Don't tear the trees down.
Last month, Google submitted plans to the city of Mountain View for its new state-of-the-art campus on East Charleston Road. Part of that plan involves tearing down 160 trees.
They're moving into these areas. At the project site in Alviso, for the first time in 100 years, a pair of golden eagles came in and nested at that site in a palm tree, which is also very, very unusual. There's just no tall trees left in some of these areas. If they don't adapt, they're going to die off. Another big problem is, as more and more birds of prey come into Shoreline and these other areas, most of them are predators of burrowing owls, or else they're competing with the burrowing owls for the same prey items. So we're doing a lot to try and save these little guys. There's some pictures of the chicks, so just send them around.
How many here? No.
This year in the breeding season, we don't need 1 pair with 6 chicks. We actually have 10 owls at the moment. So we have resident owls, which live here for their entire life, and we have migratory owls, which arrived around this time. So they're coming from Canada, Oregon, and Washington. They come here for a few months, and then return back up north to reproduce in the breeding season.
You actually saw them?
Yeah.
Oh.
So how we know if they're resident or migratory owls, we actually capture them and we put bands on their legs. We use different colors for different sites, and then each owl has its own unique number.
We got one.
Success.
Do you hear that bill clattering? Not a happy camper. So we'll just take the whole trap back. None of them are happy to be trapped, but I try to be as quick as I can. When you see them at a distance, they look large and they're all puffed up. And then when you get them in your hand, you see how tiny they are. Well, this is not always graceful. I cover them first, and now he won't be afraid. Are there migrating owls just migrating through? Are there owls that come here just to breed? With an ID number, I can determine that information. So this fella is 74. 131.2, 165 on the wing, and 76.
Lois collects her data quickly,
This bird's ready to go.
and the owl is soon on its way.
There, look at that.
So what we've learned about the banding project is they do move within the sites. At the moment out here we have 4 owls from Moffett Airfield. We do know that inbreeding is occurring. So for 4 years at Shoreline we had a mother and son reproduce. We've seen that at other sites. So owls only live for about 5 years and they breed their first year after they're born. So if there's a male and a female, they'll get together.
Hey man, I'm lonely. You want to help mommy make you some friends? Okay.
They have a very, very short lifespan. Another problem we have is we analyzed their diet to find out what they're eating. We collected their pellets. And the number one species they're eating is earwigs. An earwig is about that size. Pincher bugs. So you only capture one prey item at a time. So if you have 10 babies to feed, and you're bringing back one little earwig to feed 10 babies, most of them are going to die. So what we've done the last 3 years, we've done a supplemental feeding study. We fed them dead mice in the breeding season. And we doubled the amount of chicks at most of the sites. And we weighed the chicks and compared them to chicks who were not being supplementally fed, and they weighed twice as much. We do know that prey is a limiting factor. We want them to eat more rodents. That's the purpose of our project today. So this area here behind us, this is a nesting area for burrowing owls. We've loads of ground squirrels out there, we have loads of artificial burrows out there, and we mow the area. Burrowing owls are only 9 inches tall, so during the daytime they sit at the burrow entrance. If the grass grows taller than them, they can't see predators approaching, so they'll actually abandon their burrows. So we mow for owls, but rodents don't like short vegetation. So first they eat green grass in the rainy season, then they switch to eating seeds. So if we're mowing everything like on the golf course or here, there's no food available for them. Also they're exposed to predators with short vegetation. So they like longer vegetation. So what we're doing with this project here, thanks very much to Aisha, who's been involved for the past few years, we're planting low-growing California native plants along the perimeter of the fence line. So that's what we're hoping to prey. There's going to be a food supply and also cover for them. So we're going to have nesting and foraging areas in the same location. So some of the plants we're using is, this one here is called Ceanothus. In the spring, it's going to be covered in beautiful lilac or blue flowers. It's low growing. This is a magnet for bees. Then we have the sage. We have 4 different varieties, so they bloom at different times. We also have an aster, California aster, great for attracting butterflies and bees. We have California buckwheat. This one blooms in the summer. We have a naked buckwheat, and we have milkweeds, which is the larval food of monarch butterflies. We're also having monarch butterflies. A lot of insects are actually attracted to that plant. So we don't want any tall plants because birds of prey could land in the tall plants and then kill the owls. So it's all low growing plants, they're all drought tolerant plants, and we are using recycled water out here. We're going to water them with a drip irrigation system for about 3 or 4 years. Then after that, the roots are established, we'll turn off the watering system and we'll move our watering system somewhere else. So we are doing research on the burrowing owls. We are doing monitoring of the burrowing owls. This year, we started a relocation program. We captured 10 chicks, well, they were juveniles at the time, from here, from Moffat and from Alviso. We brought them up to the Peninsula Humane Society in Burlingame. So burrowing owl chicks have a 70% mortality rate in their first year. Nearly everything eats them. Cats, dogs, snakes, raccoons, foxes, hawks, eagles, other owls. So they have very low mortality rates. So these 10 chicks, all 10 of them have survived so far. Then in March, we're going to bring them back here to Shoreline. We've already done genetics on them to make sure they're not they're as genetically diverse as possible. We're going to create artificial burrows using pipes. We'll put a pair, a male and a female, into the artificial burrow. We'll put a hacking aviary or enclosure over them for about a month, feed them for about a month until they lay a full clutch of eggs. When they've laid a full clutch of eggs, we'll take the aviary off, and we're hoping that they'll stay. So burrowing owls are site tenacious and have burrow fidelity. So once they establish a territory, they usually remain there for the duration of their short lives. So they have done relocations in the past with adult birds. They've taken them from one site, moved them somewhere else. The problem is most of them have returned to where they actually captured them, and very few remained 5 years later at the original locations. So we're doing it with juveniles this time, because we're hoping that the chicks don't have that site tenaciousness like the adults. So ask me next year and I'll be able to tell you if it worked or not. During the 2020 breeding season, we had a total of 8 pairs out here at Shoreline. 5 pairs were introduced pairs. They were taken as juveniles the year before. Those 5 pairs had a total of 21 chicks. Then we had 3 wild pairs, 1 from Shoreline and 2 from Moffat Airfield. So in total, we had 8 pairs with 100% breeding success, which is very high. And we had a total of 35 chicks. And 1 pair, a Shoreline pair, actually had a double brood. So we've never had that in the past 23 years out here. Very, very unusual. If this works, we're going to try it at another location that has breeding owls. Then we're going to start doing reintroductions to Coyote Valley, which is south of here. The problem with the 4 breeding locations, they're all very, very urban. there's a lot of disturbance, there's no contiguous habitat, they're crisscrossed by roads. So we want to bring them out to more natural areas after we get these populations established. We have a big problem with non-native invasive plants. Because we're a landfill, as the ground subsides, because the trash decomposes, we can't have standing water on the landfill because it increases the leachate. So we bring in dirt from construction sites. And when we bring that dirt in, we bring every single non-native invasive weed on the planet onto our project site. A lot of these invasive plants, they grow faster than our natives and they produce a lot more seeds and outcompete them. So what we've done with this site a few months ago, Aisha got some cardboard, and it's called sheet mulching. We put the cardboard on top of the vegetation, then we covered it in wood chips to suppress the non-native invasive weeds. So what we're going to do today is we're going to dig holes in that cardboard, plant these plants, give them a good soaking, and then hopefully we'll come back maybe a year later and do some more weeding around them, maybe for 1 or 2 years until they get established or big enough to outcompete the weeds. Does anybody any questions?
It's tough to save them.
It's very tough to save them. So people say, like, how come you have to do all this vegetation management? All these grasses out here are non-native grasses. These are not our native grasses. Our native grasses were a lot of bunch grasses, purple needlegrass, California, barley. Most of them are not found out here. Also, we had lots of herbivores eating that vegetation in the past. Thule elk, deer, and pronghorn antelope. None of those animals are out here anymore. So it is a lot of management, and it's difficult on the landfill as well. There's a lot of regulations to protect burrowing owls, but the landfill technicians also have regulations to make sure they're in compliance with all the state and federal agencies. So fortunately, those two regulations don't always agree with each other. So it is very difficult, but the City of Mountain View has been very active in protecting burrowing owls. They actually created a burrowing owl preservation plan. So we have certain areas designated as burrowing owl preserve. So,
he's ready to work?
Yeah.
That was my next question.
I know. That's the glove.
How do I start?
So here's the gloves
We
over
know where
here.
the
If you want to
plants
get a left
are.
hand glove, right hand glove.
Grab a shovel.
Aisha, let me give you these.
Postal
Yeah.
digits,
Look at
these.
these.
Yeah,
Yes,
grab
yes.
as many plants as you can. And
So there's the official credit card.
You guys drove up yesterday? Last night?
Last night, yeah.
Night?
Well, yesterday. It took the full day.
Long haul.
Yeah. How you doing, doll Holly?
You know, I've been carrying 5 plants at a time. I'd say they're doing pretty good. Yeah. Very efficient.
Excellent.
Looking for the buckwheat.
Let the men do the hard work. What is? Hey, what is the Google's name?
How deep?
What is your name? 啊 ，Sorry，
啊，圆。
你讲中文哈，我跟你讲中文，他们就不会看我了。
What was that?
How deep and just dig right where we are?
Just enough to get this right at the
真的假的？
surface.
你跟那
So there's
个
like 6 inches of can bark. So you just want to get to the dirt and then below.
Which one?
的 Charlie，
Charlie's over on the end.
Charlie 是湖北人，他爸爸湖北人。哦，好像也是武汉。You can dig hole, I can plant the plant.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'll do it that way. Just leave the holes like that.
Yeah. This one is
Yeah, that one's finished.
That's actually, yeah.
My parents are from.
You shall not
pass.
You shall
Get it?
pass!
Yeah, 2.5 years apart.
Pass!
Aisha, how passionate are you about this project?
So passionate. My entire identity relies on this project succeeding. Everything is at stake.
What was it like for you guys?
How will I face the shame if the owls die? I won't. I can't. I can't die.
What was it like when you saw a burrowing owl for the first time?
Oh man, when I saw one up close, I cried.
There's a burrowing owl.
He's on the cactus.
Can't even get it to focus. It's like focusing on the fence. I'm crying. It's so cute. Can you help me fix it?
Yeah, here, I'll do it.
Okay.
It's just
Wait, it's like not gentle at all. Wait, that feels like it's taking off my makeup.
No, it's outside of your makeup.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I will save you, friend.
Was this before you found you wanted to start saving them?
No, this is after. Jesus.
Okay.
This is after. Yeah, no, I didn't see Burrowing Owls for a long time. While I was saving them, had seen pictures.
Really?
Yeah.
Woo, this is hard.
I kind of want to try that thing out.
You do? Want to switch?
Progression like that.
Because I'm like left-handed, so my right is just like I get the workout.
You want to dig this one a little deeper? The shovel might be better here.
I was like, when they brought that office here, I was like, nah, man, it just doesn't hit. They feel the energy.
What's your favorite quality of burrowing owls?
Definitely their big and inquisitive eyes. And I like that they're survivors, you know? Yeah, I think it's so rad that they're like, oh, these squirrels are gonna make us homes and we're just gonna take over. Boom. Smart. Yeah, they work smarter, not harder.
Wait, this is way too deep.
That's too deep.
Grab out there.
Hey, Kuzi, what's your favorite part about burrowing owls?
My favorite thing about burrowing owls is how cute they are. Look at that cute face and tell me you can't save that.
Can you do an impression of a burrowing owl? Yeah, that was pretty good. Waking up.
I've never seen anything except for their heads rolling and then they shake and maybe they turn. But I think my favorite thing about the burrowing owls is currently the fact that it's bringing us all together. I'm a super fan of this.
Aww.
Yeah, cool 2-day excursion. We've had a great time. You should be here.
Yeah, it's already recording.
So I just hold this one,
Right.
ask them.
Yeah, and like this will go black, but it's still recording. You just need a, you can trust that it's aiming the direction you're pointing.
Okay, you're my first target, Holly. So, what makes you want to help with the owl?
I've known Aisha for, I think, 3 months now. We met after Burning Man.
Yeah.
She was my ride to LA, and I think I'm just very inspired by her passion. We both share the same ideologies in terms of caring for planet Earth, and when she told me about this project, not only as a friend did I want to help her out, but as a warrior for the integrity of this planet.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then Aisha's really good at giving the facts, explaining why we're doing this project, and how, just how crucial it is.
Wow, that's awesome. It's good to have you here.
Yeah.
Long way from LA to Mountain View.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Aisha, it's black. Is that recording my
It's
noise?
still recording, yeah.
Is it, when I'm talking, it's
Yeah,
still?
it's still. Yeah.
I don't even know I'm an enemy at people if it's black. I don't even know I'm an enemy at people if it's black.
Just aim, it's wide angle, so it's capturing everything. Just aim it at their face.
Okay.
But not
Okay,
blind. They're
Mrs.
just
Winter.
other people.
The reason I say Mrs. Winter because I forgot your first name.
Shy. Do you want someone else? Do Iris.
Are you the one?
So sweet.
How about very bravely?
Very bravely. What?
About why you're here.
Why I'm here?
Yes.
Because I'm really concerned about the state of the planet.
Oh, that's super.
And it's just amazing to be with the plants and to be with other people that care about the planet too.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Can you also say to the camera like about your prayers to the plants?
You put the plant in the ground to say a prayer. It doesn't even have to be to God. It can be to Gaia, but it'll help the plant to grow better.
That's awesome. That's good. Iris, I overheard you're from Canada, all the way to Mountain View. Help! Oh my gosh. Okay, tell us about why you are here.
Google just whatever a little bit more normal.
Who amazingly reached out to me. I met her at the burn. She's been such a light. And yeah, so she told me basically to come out and support. And so I'm so grateful
we ran into I know.
everyone here.
That's awesome. Yeah, wow, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, we ran it.
Yeah, awesome for being here.
Good job, Mom. Keep going.
Is that a good job? Okay, guys' turn. All right, 3 guys.
We're here now.
All right. 3 guys, my 2 Chinese fellow here from the same province as my dad. So tell us a little bit about why you're here. I give Charlie a shot first.
Hi. Yeah, I'm really enjoying my time planning right now. Yeah, we all got to I don't know much about burrowing owls, but I know that they're our friends.
Yeah.
And that's enough for me to put in a bit of time and help them out.
That's right. Friends help friends. That's great. That's awesome. Yuan, yes. Yuan, 你呢？讲中文吧。讲中文 they could give a little different 讲中文你为什么来帮忙呢
我很喜欢猫咪
哇好棒好棒谢谢 Jacuzzi yes so the only way I can remember the name is Jacuzzi okay. So why are you here? Give me something good.
Okay, well something good.
Something bad is good.
I had a snail at one point, but I lost it. Look, this is just a wonderful way to spend a Friday. I think the more people become aware, the more people will step up and become involved with the environment and their environmental community.
That's awesome.
I really do hope, and I hope that people will start to make a difference because this is going to change our world.
Yeah.
One step, all of us together, does a lot for our carbon footprint.
Yeah. I heard you are involved with United Nations or something.
I'm a mental health advocate.
Oh, that's cool.
Ambassador on mental health.
Wow, that's good. Thank you for being here.
You're very welcome.
Feel the boss. Aren't you appreciate all these people?
Yes, very much.
Okay, say something about thank you them.
This project wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for all the volunteers that come out here every year on a regular basis and remove weeds, do sheet mulching, put down wood chips, plant plants, water plants, come back and weed them. This whole area, about over 2,000 feet long, linear feet long, is all from native plant staff volunteers. This project would not have been so successful if volunteers didn't participate. And a big thank you to Aisha and her mom and dad who've been here every time that we've done this planting or the weeding.
That's awesome. We know a lot from you. Actually, I wasn't aware of all this nature stuff, and we know a lot. I know a lot personally. Thank you. For Rai, okay, for Rai. How about you? You're here. You're the brother of Kuzi.
Yeah, that's my brother.
All right, awesome.
And I'm here,
Yes.
planting trees, hoping that I can, add a little to the environment, add a little to the owl's environment. We need less pollution and more green, so I'm here to do my part.
That's so awesome. It's eye-opening for me.
It is
young and so aware of this. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I wish
feel
we could
ashamed.
do this every day.
Yeah.
We should get to less time wasting and
Yes.
more
More of
this
this,
is giving back to the world and giving
yeah.
back to the future.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're from Zimbabwe. Is that right? All the way. Yep.
Yep.
All the way to here. That's awesome. Thank you. That's really awesome for all these people doing that. Oh my gosh.
On a summer evening. Woo. And even though it's in my heart. Watermelon sugar. So this is how you do it, guys. You uproot it from the bucket, put it in your hand, left or right, depending on which one's dominant. Then you put it in the hole that you dug about that deep, you know, to that part of your arm. Was really bad with numbers growing up. But anyways, you dig about yay deep, you put the plant in there, then you have your partner pull up with some, well, he was supposed to pour the dirt on top of it, but he tried. You have your partner pull up with some mud, a little mud on top. I mean, you think I did this my whole life, you know what I mean? And this is what it's all about, guys. You wanna make sure you pack that in there nice and good. Make sure it's loose but firm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. What are you doing, bud?
I'm trying to mix it a little.
Okay.
Super thick.
You do what you do.
It's like quicksand.
I think he's playing with it.
I am just playing.
Alright, so then once you
I'm
got
up.
it all in there, you know, I mean, it doesn't take too long. It's just a 1-2 step. It's a process. You put it all in there. Then you're gonna go back. You might want to break this down a little bit too so the roots can breathe. You know what I mean? Get good irrigation, a lot of water flow. People need these things. I think humans and plants. Alright, then you push some of these here chips on top. Try not to get any chips on the plants because according to my man down there, I don't remember what he said, but we can chop and cut it in there. Don't worry about it. What did he say happens to the plants?
It'll get mold, I think.
Yeah, they can.
He had a word for it though. His word.
Fungus.
Fungus can grow on the.
You don't want to get any fungus. And also, if you haven't, go listen to Incubus's first album, The Fungus Among Us. It's amazing. And then, once that's all said and done, look what you did. You saved the burrowing owl. Wow. Just like that. Yay!
High tech meets Hollywood.
Watermelon sugar. Where's Harry Styles when you need him, bro?
Whoa.
Artistic water shot.
Yeah.
And it ends with Holly. 3.5 years ago, I started helping Phil out, starting from here. So we basically like doubled how many plants we have now in the area in just one day. So just imagine the possibilities if we keep going, because it's becoming exponentially more impactful as we work on this and more people get involved. So how about we walk along down and just check out just how much progress has been made in 3.5 years. Yeah, this is all like year 1. Year 2 start happening. Yeah, I think
What kind of plants are these?
so Corey worked on this last year.
Aisha, what kind of plants are these? Like that you guys?
Those are all sages.
Nice.
Those ones are rose, like California rose. Yeah, you can smell them. They smell great. Cleveland sage.
That smells amazing. Can I just take a little piece?
Yeah. A little piece. A little piece.
Aisha, how long before weeds start growing?
As we keep pulling weeds, fewer and fewer weeds come in.
I got it really
But the first time we'll probably do a weeding will be like, we'll probably just do it in the spring when we do another planting. Because like, that or it feels like, hey, it's February, there's a lot of weeds, then we'll come back and we'll do weeds earlier. But like I've noticed that the weedings have gotten spaced out.
nice.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Where are the
Great.
flags for?
The flags mark the plants.
Have they been able to find more food and hide from the natural predators
So,
since
well,
adding this?
I have noticed more and more birds in the area. So that's like evidence that there's more
Animal
food,
ecosystem
right,
and
for them.
life able to.
and we also do like an insect sweep. Like we'll go through with a net and we'll gather insects and do a count.
Oh, okay.
So I have that count regularly on like a graph, and that has been going up generally. Yeah. But I think
those California buckwheats we just planted?
so beautiful.
These are the flower heads, the seeds.
Yeah, when they bloom, they're white.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy. They were tiny too. These are just a year
Yeah.
of growth?
Yeah, they sprout up quick.
Sick. The sage smells amazing.
So is this like when they say like sage the place?
Yeah.
They wrap it.
They wrap it around so it's all together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not impressive.
Sage the place. I got the sage the place.
And it's the stuff that grows the best here. So that's why we keep getting them.
And then we should just
Yeah, the opportunity for the project is this fence was like, what, a mile?
All the way around.
Yeah, like it goes all the way.
Kidding me?
Probably the whole thing's about a mile. Yeah.
And then what kind of holes are these that we have here? These squirrel holes as well? Like this one? This
Yeah,
one
that's
looks
a squirrel hole. Yeah.
He's definitely...
That's an active one
Active,
too.
is
Yeah, you can tell. Yeah.
He's just like, I want to just pop up where there's stuff.
Yeah, right.
The other
Wherever
one we
the
saw
good
had like
stuff
grass growing in it.
Yeah.
So it's not active.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Some
This is a fresh one.
probing in here though. Probably a skunk in here.
Oh yeah.
How do you tell?
Just they probe like that. They leave like the little
Oh.
nose
Going to
holes.
dig,
Yeah.
No, these are nose
They're
holes.
just
Skunk
probing
nose
for
holes.
insects.
That's funny.
You know, sometimes when I'm
All right.
in Rancho San Antonio, there'll be just like little
Oh my god.
clumps of just like fresh dirt, and I'm like, there's no
I come on
holes or
gophers.
anything.
It smells like
Gophers
cleansing
pop
They
the
go
dirt
up,
up. Yeah.
oh, and then go back.
They
Why?
dig down and pop it up.
Oh, it's down there.
Oh,
You
to
want to
get
get
it
some?
out of the
Yeah.
way.
Exactly.
So
They're
is there a hole,
digging
like
and
if
it's
I
going
pushed
up.
it away, would there be a little hole
Yeah.
there?
Yep.
That won't bother the gophers.
All right.
That makes sense because they couldn't just keep pushing all
Maybe
that
let's
dirt.
Right, yeah,
get a
where does the
photo
dirt go?
from
Yeah,
here.
so
Have,
they
like,
just
little
pop it
rope
up. Right?
Yeah.
Gotta go somewhere.
Okay.
Okay, everyone get in the circle for the cheer. So here's the cheer for everyone who doesn't know. It's I'm a burrowing owl, burrowing owl. Hear me coo like a burrowing owl. Cuckoo! Right? So one more time. It's complicated, but this is a complicated project. I'm a burrowing owl, burrowing owl. Hear me coo like a burrowing owl. Cuckoo! All right, let's do it. Hands in. Got this. Ready? I'm a burrowing owl, burrowing owl. Hear me coo like a burrowing owl. Cuckoo! Woo! Nice job.
I would like everyone's Instagram right now.
All right, here we are driving back to LA after a very successful planting. I got Holly in the front seat, in the hot seat. Holly, what did you think of today's experience, having heard about the project and now finally getting to participate on it?
Well, I think my favorite thing about the project was at the very end seeing the plants that we put in the ground with the flags, and then right next to it were the plants that were planted last year, and seeing how much growth and development happens within a year. It's very hopeful, it's very encouraging, and seeing how much work we got done with just 10 people in the span of 2 hours makes you realize that, yeah, it really does not take that much. You know, we all are capable of making a difference.
Another question for Holly. What kind of superpower does Broken Rainbow have? Have you discovered it through this experience?
Have I discovered my superpower?